Hi everybody, this is Miss Debbie with McDill Chapel and welcome to Children's Church. I hope you're having a wonderful Sunday morning. It's really good to see you. So let's start off with some praise and worship. So everybody stand up and sing along and try to learn the motions. And this is a song called You Gave. Here we go. Great job, everybody. Well, today I want to talk to you about patience. So, the Bible tells us patience is something that we need to have, and it is also one of the things that can show that we know God and that we have a relationship with Him. And it's called a fruit of the Spirit. And we're going to talk about what that means. But first, do you even know what patience really means? It means waiting on things or even putting up with things that maybe might not be very pleasant with a good attitude. So that means patience. So there are a lot of things in life that we have to wait for or that maybe we have to put up with and it's not very pleasant, but we need to have a good attitude. So let's say maybe your parents are on the phone and you want to talk to them and it's really hard for you to wait with a good attitude instead of, I need to talk to you. So a good attitude means we're not getting angry, we're not complaining, we're not being all frustrated, we're not being crazy because we're having to wait on something that we want to happen right away. Well, Even in this coronavirus thing, maybe you can't wait for things to get back to normal. I know I would really like that too. So the Bible teaches us that we need to learn patience. And because if you spend your time waiting on something and you're all angry and frustrated and sad, it's really making you kind of miserable. It ruins your life, and it doesn't make things pleasant for people around you either. So some things take a long time. And I've got a video for you of a kid where she's doing a lot of waiting, but it's totally worth it. And so she's kind of struggling on having a good attitude waiting. But let's watch this and we'll talk about it right afterwards.
Lena loves sugar cookies. She especially loves making them with her mom. Like most kids, though, waiting is really hard for Lena.
The hardest part about making cookies is waiting, and waiting.
Making homemade sugar cookies takes a lot of work and time. First, you have to make the dough by mixing together butter, vanilla, and an egg until it becomes smooth and creamy.
Perfect.
Then, you need to add the right amount of sugar, flour, baking soda, cream of tartar, and salt. After all of that, the dough is not even close to being done. The dough still has to chill in the refrigerator for 4 hours. That's half a day. So much waiting. After 4 whole hours of waiting, Lena takes the dough out of the refrigerator. Lena has to roll out the dough that has been cold for 4 hours. It's like trying to turn a rock into a pancake. Once it's rolled out, they still have to cut out all of the shapes. Lena helps her mom put the cookies on cookie sheets. Then, into the oven to bake for even more time. Wait, wait, and wait.
Mom, are they ready yet?
Not yet.
How much longer, Mom?
Just a little while.
Finally, the cookies are done baking, but they have to wait for them to cool. In the meantime, they start making the icing. Lena gets the mixing bowl out and starts adding ingredients: milk, butter, vanilla, and of course, sugar.
Now go ahead.
Finally, the icing is ready, and the cookies are cool. Lena and her mom finally begin decorating.
Ah!
The cookies are done. They've waited so long to get to this point.
So how many cookies do you think we'll give away?
About half of them.
Who do you think you want to send some to?
Our neighbors, because they'll love the gift.
Yes, they will.
Was it worth the wait?
Homemade cookies are totally worth the wait.
Wow, I love sugar cookies, yum. But they do require some patience if you are doing homemade cookies, because you see there was a lot to that. Making it and then putting it in the refrigerator and waiting, and so there were a lot of pieces, and she was struggling a little bit having to wait and wait, and so we saw her flopping on the couch bored. So very interesting. What could we maybe do when we're having to wait a long time for something that might make it a little easier to wait? Well, if you sit around just thinking and focusing on what you're waiting for, it can seem like it's taking forever. Maybe we could put our attention on something else that's good, that we enjoy or that we need to do. We could go play games. We could go help a parent do something. So that's something that might make waiting a little easier. But we can also ask God to help us, because the Bible in Galatians chapter 5 tells us that patience is a fruit of the Spirit. Patience is a fruit. Well, what does God mean by that? Well, if you think about a fruit tree, let's say an apple tree, it has the information in it and the ability to produce an apple. That's just a miracle that God has made. So every tree that produces a fruit has the ability to make that fruit. Well, that's kind of what he's talking about. When we are a friend and a follower of Jesus, Jesus gives us the Spirit of God. So we have God's Spirit within us. And the Bible tells us that God's Spirit helps produce certain things in our lives. And he calls those fruits. Well, one of those, he says, is patience. So the Spirit of God in us helps us produce patience in our lives. So we can really ask God to help us produce patience in our life. So waiting with a good attitude and knowing that good things are coming. And that's really pretty exciting. So when Jesus is your friend, patience is a fruit that you can produce with his help. So that's pretty nice. So tell you what, for an activity today, let's come up with things, one, that you can focus on to help you when you have to wait for a long time on something. So I would love for you to get with your parents or your grandparents or the adults that are helping care for you and come up with a list of things that you could do if you have to wind up waiting for something. So you have something you know you can go to if you're having to, say, wait on a parent to finish work on their computer or talk on the phone, or if you have to wait for anything. And so I'd love for you to brainstorm or come up with a bunch of ideas of things that you can do to help you be patient. And then also, it would be really great if you can also maybe make some homemade cookies like we saw. So, and practice patience, and because that's a really fun thing to wait for. It's a really fun thing to have. So why don't you try that as well, and an adult or an older brother or sister, and try to do some homemade cookies. And also make sure you use the stuff on that list for when you're waiting. So practice patience. Well, I hope you have lots of fun with that. And don't forget to be praying every day for your family, for the world, because the world needs a lot of help right now, and anything that you need. God loves it when you talk to him, and he loves to answer your prayers. And he does tell us in the Bible, in the book of Mark, in chapter 11, verse 24, remember to ask him with faith, or ask believing. Remember, faith means we believe and we expect God to do what he says. He says if you pray, ask believing that he's with you and going to answer you, and he will. And so that's very exciting. So I hope you have a wonderful week. I've had a great time being with you today, and I will see you next time. See ya. Bye.